everybody? This is Dario Hunt. Welcome back to the Fearless Show, episode number 7. With me, as always, is my co-host, Mr. Darius Walker. Say what up.
What's up, everybody? Thanks for coming back. It's your boy, artist Darius Walker, artist D Walker.
So, as much as I hate, talking about politics and shit like that, I don't feel like we got no choice, man. But what'd you think about the elections?
Oh boy, the elections are crazy. That was interesting. Donald Trump is the president-elect, and I guess it wasn't completely unexpected. Although it might be disappointing, it wasn't completely unexpected. So, I mean, that's my gist of how I feel, pretty much. But I can say more, How do you feel?
Definitely disappointed. But like you said, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised that he won. He did get a lot of support, and it's kind of the overall climate, I think, of a lot of people back home right now. I'm not back home. I'm not back stateside, so I don't know about how it is out there, but from what I've been seeing on the news, it's been a little crazy, man, the last couple of days for sure.
Stuff's been happening. There's been some, I guess, marching, if you could call it, protests.
I would call it rioting.
Yeah, there's been some riots happening, surprisingly. I kind of anticipated that would happen, but it actually happening was surprising. I was like, oh, damn, they're going hard in the streets right now over Trump. They were shouting out, like, not my president, and all kinds of other things. But, even here in New York, they were marching. I heard there's a plan to march on Washington. I heard there's a women's march on Washington, actually. And there's a lot of groups feeling a type of way about it, but
Yeah, I wonder how many most people actually voted and whatnot. But I think at this point, I don't know what rioting or any of that is actually going to accomplish, except make us look even more embarrassing than we already do right now.
Seriously, the world's perspective of the United States is like Donald Trump's elected, and then the average American freaking out and throwing a tantrum.
It's pretty embarrassing. That's what the world
thinks we look like.
It's pretty embarrassing. I mean, obviously, I didn't vote for Donald Trump, or I didn't want him in office, but at the same time, I hope he does well. I hope he does well. My expectations aren't that high, but I hope that he's not the con artist that I actually think he is, but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, his first month in office will probably tell us a lot. Donald Trump, I saw the press conference with him and Barack after they talked, and that was interesting. That was like the most humble I'd seen Donald Trump in years.
Yeah.
I'd never seen Donald Trump look that like calm, without a smile. Like, he didn't have this like asshole look on his face. He got this look like he just heard something that he needs to think about. like Barack Obama just like put him on game. Like, yo,
weight of everything that is about to happen, I think, just like hit him.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of fucking responsibility. So.
So true.
Can't be on Twitter out there beefing with fucking people about their opinions about everything anymore. You know what I'm saying? You can't go out there and say whatever you want anymore. It's just, we'll see, man. We'll see.
Right.
But that did bring us, I think one of the best monologues I've heard in a while on Saturday Night Live from Mr. Dave Chappelle finally coming back out of hiding.
Oh, yeah. Mr. Dave Chappelle coming to host SNL. That was probably one of the top SNL shows in years. Like, One of the top 5, I guarantee it, in like the last, I don't know, 5 years. Like
It is the only one I've checked for, like, specifically in a really, really long time.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, and the thing about it was, it wasn't SNL for me. It was like the Dave Chappelle show with the SNL cast. Like, you know, he came in and made it his show again for a moment. Like, everybody was like,
so what did you think about the skits that he actually did?
I mean, well, to start off, you introed talking about that monologue that he gave. So Dave Chappelle starts off the episode with non-apologetic,
Non-PC for sure.
you know, non-PC, not, you know, he just came in, and I heard that his monologue was actually censored by a couple outlets, like, to their viewers, because of how specific he got. Like, one joke was about how he couldn't even say anything because he was staying at a Trump hotel. And how housekeeping would come in and clean, and then he'd get himself a handful of pussy.
He did say, yeah.
He
said, the boss said it's okay.
It was okay. I was like, oh my God. That shit is crazy. But yeah, oh man, just to set the tone, that was crazy because he ended the monologue, you know, all jokes aside.
Yeah, serious. He ended on a serious note.
Very serious note, some serious comments about how he's going to take Donald Trump. He's going to give Donald Trump a chance as president, and how him and as a voice for, you know, the black disenfranchised minority groups, that we demand that he give us a chance too. I thought that was really strong. It was like no joke, no punchline, and then he segued into the show. But that was dope.
Yeah, man.
And then the show started. The skits, crazy.
I think the timing of him coming back, you know, to TV and Saturday Night Live was perfect, especially after the elections. I've definitely wanted to kind of hear what he had to say on shit like that. That's what he's always been so good at, is talking about, like, real issues and being funny, but really, like, speaking some truth to it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, because, like, that was the one time when I was actually really interested in, like, political commentary. Yeah. Because, like, right now it's so annoying. Like, you don't want to hear anything.
I've never enjoyed political commentary, but when it comes to a comedian, it's pretty funny. Right.
But yeah, Dave Chappelle, that shit brought me back to memory lane, man, with the Chappelle show. Just how good of a sketch comedy artist he is.
He did do, I say the biggest night he did to the show was definitely his first, I don't know if it was the first skit, but the skit he did with Walking Dead, and he brought back all his characters. I think he brought back Tyrone, the crackhead.
Tyrone, Chuck Berry. Reporter, the white guy.
Clayton Bigsby, the blind black white supremacist.
Little John.
And Little John. Yeah. And he tied it all into the Walking Dead.
Yeah, all of it. It was crazy. And it was such a good Walking Dead skit. Like, it was so funny. Crazy.
That shit just made me miss him even more, man. That show was fucking classic.
Right? And then he did that skit where he was kind of like, it was a satire of overeager, like overconfident Hillary supporters.
That was, I think beside the Walking Dead one, that was probably the strongest one.
That shit hit home so hardcore. Like, there was so much truth in that. Like, when they cheers, they were like, oh, like, he's going to win Florida. It's like, to the Latinos. And they cheers to Latinos.
It's like, I don't think the Latinos heard you.
Yeah. Trump won Florida. I don't think the Latinos heard about your toast. Like, and shit like that, where, like, you know, I saw people, you know, election, like, during the polls nights, you know, people were, like, cheering, like, oh, this is the day. We're going to have the first woman president, you know.
Overconfident.
Like, it hadn't even been close to being over or started yet. They're just like, it's finally happening, blah, 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 like, celebrating way before. That skit was, like, a perfect, like, kind of
that shit. Chris Rock was in it.
Chris Rock came in. Yeah, that was beautiful.
Yeah, that was
it was
definitely the
classic.
strongest one. I mean, to me, honestly, the other ones, they were okay.
They were okay.
I don't know. I love Chappelle, but honestly, you can't do as much as, he wanted to or could do.
I think they limited him. They were like,
Yeah,
all right,
for
we
sure.
can't have you do, like, he probably
On
wrote some more
NBC,
shit.
you can't
and
get
they-
away with what you could on Comedy Central. So
Yeah.
I think
They're
he
like,
definitely.
well, let's pick your top 2, maybe 3 skits and do those. And then we've got these other ones that we've already got passed for you to do, okay?
Yeah,
It's
I'm
like,
sure he
oh.
didn't.
You know?
I'm sure he didn't write all those skits that he was in, but
Yeah.
I think he was definitely, kind of it was like safer Dave outside of the monologue
Safer
because he
Dave.
can't do everything he could do on Comedy Central for sure.
Right. Yeah. It was crazy. Oh man, going back to that Walking Dead skit though. One part in that when Clayton Bigsby, the KKK character, white.
Yes, the blind black white supremacist Clayton Bigsby.
Yeah. So when he was getting talked to, he was like, "Man, you're black," and he's like, from what I've heard, when I put this hat on, it's no longer true." He put on,
Yeah.
he put on the hat that said "Make America Great Again."
Make America Great Again.
Like Trump
Yeah.
supporter. I was dying when I saw that part.
It was a nice touch for sure.
So yeah, all I gotta say is good work, Dave Chappelle.
I mean, overall, it was hit and miss for me, but just the fact that we got Chappelle back out there and doing it again was like, I didn't really care what he said or did. There's just the fact seeing him out there was dope as fuck.
True.
And that really got me thinking about how fucking whack comedians are nowadays.
Yeah, no, it was crazy because when Dave was doing his monologue, I forgot how raw comedy could be, and I was like, oh man, where is this now? Like I don't hear anything like this ever anymore. Like nobody's hitting it hard.
And it's just gotten so weak and so whack, and just people are just, because a couple months ago they announced that Kevin Hart was the highest grossing comedian this year.
Yeah, I believe
Well,
it.
over the past year. I think he made like almost 90 million.
Shit.
He finally toppled, what's his name? Jerry Seinfeld, who's always been the first for like the last 20 years almost.
Yeah. Seinfeld, the show's always on, so he still gets residuals.
Makes a lot of money from
And he's
syndication.
always touring. He does stand up every year, so it makes sense that Jerry's up there. But
Yeah.
Kevin
Kevin Hart is
Hart-
now the number one comedian in the world. He sells out football arenas.
yeah, which is like never been done.
Unbelievable to me.
No comedians don't do that. They don't go to the
No.
football stadiums. They just don't.
No, and I got into an argument, the other day, per usual,
Oh yeah.
about Kevin Hart, man, and he's fucking corny to me.
Kevin Hart is corny to you, yeah? That's funny. He is. But he's playing a role that he found works. I think every time you see him on camera, it's the character of Kevin Hart that he found out works the best.
See, but I don't know if it's the character or this is actually how he is. But I do know that he's not going to go the raw comedian route because he has so much at stake. And, like, he won't risk his endorsements because he got a fucking shoe coming out with Nike now or some shit like this.
Oh,
And
yeah.
he won't risk his, box office sales and family-friendly movies he fucking does. And it's just like, yo, this guy is corny as fuck, though. Comedian, like, I'm gonna come out and say it. Comedy is corny and whack as shit now.
Right? It's like when you're going to the movie theaters, who are the biggest comedians you can see? You can see Kevin Hart or
Who?
I don't even know. Who's
Exactly.
Else? Who else? Comedians like Tyler Perry. You're gonna see Tyler Perry dressed as a male. You're gonna see Medea.
Jesus. Terrible.
Medea's Halloween, like.
But like for me, it's like. For me, I love comedy and I love comedians. Like my favorites are Richard Pryor, Dave Chappelle, early Eddie. You know, even Eddie Griffin, like Martin Lawrence, even Jamie, like Bernie. Love Bernie. You know.
Bernie's the man.
And even recently, like Patrice O'Neal, like Elephant in the Room was like one of my favorite stand-up specials of all time. But
right.
Like the thing all these comedians had in common was that they were just fucking raw as shit, and like they would talk about real life issues. Like they'll talk about real stuff that's going on in the world, and they wouldn't beat around the bush. Like they'll get to the heart of it, and they'll still somehow take a fucked up situation like this election, like they'll be able to take a fucked up situation like Dave did, and make it funny as fuck, and get, you know, actual commentary and get people actually thinking and talking about what's going on while still laughing at the fucking jokes. Yeah. And to me, like, that shit is gone.
I mean, Kevin Hart puts his life in his jokes. He doesn't write his jokes the same.
Kevin Hart talks about how short he is.
The same people we love.
How short he is.
He talks about his kids too. Sometimes he talks about his famous friends, you know, like he'll make fun of Nick Cannon.
But he don't talk about nothing.
He
don't talk about nothing real. Like he'll never talk about the elections. He'll never talk about race relations or anything going on like in the States. Like he'll never talk about stuff like that, you know, like civil rights. He'll never talk about stuff like that. But all these comedians before, like all these legends I just listed off, like they didn't give a fuck. Like they would talk about that shit. Like Chris Rock, like he would talk about that shit, and it would still be funny as fuck when they're doing it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't know. Kevin Hart's crazy. Like, there's a thing, because I just feel like he can't take it there. He passed the point where he could take it there. Like, I think early in his career, I felt like he could, you know, give himself that kind of leeway. Maybe he comes out and surprises everybody in his next comedy special.
He just made 90 million. He ain't changing.
Maybe he gets Paul Mooney to help write some jokes for him or something. Like,
Paul Mooney's the last person Kevin Hart will have writing fucking jokes for him.
Paul Mooney's a man, dog. He's a goat.
But
he's the king
all right,
of making people
I'll give Kevin a pass. Cause Kevin is Kevin. All right, Kevin's gonna do what he do. But like now, like name who's an up and coming comedian? Like who now, stand up wise?
Straight up stand up.
That's gone through the process of going through the touring of comedy clubs and writing jokes and you know doing stand up. Like who do we have?
All of them cross over, you know. Like I mean, there's people, but they're from different races. Like Aziz Ansari, he's like Kevin Hart too.
Yeah,
like,
he's decent.
He's really soft. There's a couple people, but not really. Like I'm trying to think of somebody. I mean, you know, we know Donald Glover. We're just talking about him in Atlanta, but he doesn't stay in the comedian lane. He just, you know, he has an edge of comedy.
Just a talent, man.
But yeah, he's just talented.
See,
so, I wonder when he's gonna do another comedy special. That would be dope.
See, I asked you this question because I asked this person the exact same question, and they listed off like fucking King Bach and
okay.
What's this other dude? I forget. A bunch of like Instagram comedians, basically.
Yeah.
He lists up DC Young Fly, like, you know, like as comedians nowadays, like that are coming up.
But he's garbage. But that's the thing. I was just thinking right before you said that Nick Cannon, his whole Wild 'N Out thing.
He's gotten a lot of Instagram people on there.
Yeah, he's got a lot. And so like his thing is he's actually making like YouTube stars. Like off of Wild 'N Out, like he's making YouTube stars, which then kind of translate on TV, but barely.
It doesn't.
But he's
giving
them their own like comedy specials. He's like, okay, like prove yourself on the show, and then I'll give you a 15-minute set, and then we'll put it out as Nick Cannon Presents.
They're out
and
here,
that's what he
man.
did.
Like
And none
these
of them were like, wow. They're like people he's just like kind of helping that could never stand on their own. Like if they could stand on their own, they'd be on SNL. And like half of the SNL cast isn't even like fucking.
they're not fucking comedians. It's like this new age of rappers to me. Like they're not fucking comedians just because they're not fucking rappers. They are just selling a personality, man.
That's a good metaphor right there. That's a good analogy.
They're just selling a personality. Like they're selling a hustle, and I can't knock whatever hustle they got. Like, but they're selling a personality. That's why it's so easy for people to make these videos and copy each other and shit. Like they're just selling a personality. Yeah. But being an actual comedian, like they're not actually fucking comedians. Like if you told them to do a stand up set, they would fucking bomb.
Yeah. I mean,
like how easy is it to dress up as a woman and then make up like some fucking video about how women act?
Any guy could probably do a 5-minute set in a woman's outfit.
Yes, it's terrible, and it's terrible comedy.
Embody any female they think about, and then people would just laugh at him for doing that. Like they'll just laugh.
And I think that's where the culture is right now, especially with comedy and with rap, man. It's just selling personalities, and I think it's suffering immensely for that, and people are missing out on so much. Because when we were growing up, like we had these comedians talking about all this real ish.
Oh yeah,
you know, it was a joke, but he was talking about like real shit and saying shit that a lot of people were feeling, but in a way that made it okay. You know,
when we were growing up, there were like adult comedians. Like it wasn't just like everybody knows the comedian. It was like, all right, when this comedian's on, it's adult time. Like this is for adults, not for kids at all. You know, like real comedy. Let's talk about real shit. Like the kids can't be around. This is grown folks conversation kind of stuff. You know,
comic view, man.
Now it's like it's like. You know, like E for everyone kind of comedy? Like, what do you mean?
It's bullshit comedy, man.
That's crazy.
And I think comedy is super underrated for being as integral part of, like, culture and, like, letting people blow off steam and shit. And, like, and it's, like, it's one of the only places, this is what I think about comedy. Like, it's one of the only places, like, comedy, music, art, one of the few mediums where, like, you can say shit that you normally would never be able to say and get away with in public or like in a position of whatever influence but you can say it and you can make it as outrageous as possible, but at the end of the day you can get away with it because it's comedy. But at the heart of it, it's like touching on a real fucking, you know, subject. Like Richard Pryor was talking about fucking freebasing crack and the crack epidemic. You know what I'm saying? Like and like he was. It's funny, but he was talking about like real shit that's going on and like bringing awareness to like, yo, there's a fucked up problem going on, you know?
Yeah.
It was like one of the few places like you can talk about it openly, talk about something openly without worrying about hurting somebody's feelings or you know, fucking endorsements or losing support. You just come out and you fucking talk about it. Yeah,
that was like the space where it was like okay to be disrespectful, you know? Like it's like go up there and say some disrespectful shit.
Elephant in the Room is one of my favorite fucking stand-up routines, and it's disrespectful as fuck. And if you feel like uncomfortable about you know topics like sex and harassment and animal stuff and like animal cruelty and like it's just not like something that if you are not open to hearing that type of stuff, you won't like it because he doesn't fucking hold back. But then now we have people like Kevin Hart and he's so afraid to say anything. And then now we have all these fucking Instagram comedians. Yeah. And it's just shitty. Like, it's just shitty. No, I mean, my whole point is it's just shitty.
Well, these Instagram comedians, now there's a whole type of Instagram and like YouTube comedian, like 30 seconds. Like how many jokes can I get in? Like there's people thinking like that. Like okay, and then they become punchline famous. Like there's dudes that literally hold their entire page on YouTube is clowning someone. Like they saw somebody in a video and then they just clown him for a minute and a half, and now they're a comedian because they're just like, oh, this motherfucking oh, Donald Trump at on the podium. Look at him. He looks like a fucking orange hazard light up there with this fucking say some dumb shit like, look at that asshole on his face, and then just keep going, and that's them, and that's their whole page.
I guess my whole point of
they get thousands of looks too.
Talking about this,
thousands of hits.
I guess my whole point of talking about this is that I miss motherfuckers like Dave Chappelle, and seeing him coming back and doing what he did, it just shows what has been missing over the years, especially recently.
Right. And
I'm not surprised at where we are right now as a culture and as people and stuff like that, because look at the shit that we have now. There's just so much bullshit out there.
Right.
And there's nothing real, and people don't know what's actually going on.
Yeah, there's so much bullshit.
And it just makes me feel like people are just stupid as fuck now. That's just how I feel. People are just stupid as fuck now.
Yeah.
And they just want the easy shit, and don't want to talk about the real hard stuff.
Right. It's crazy.
But that's just my 2 cents on it. Dave killed it. He made it. He showed why he's a fucking king.
I gotta watch that after this. That monologue was amazing. I'm just telling you.
He showed why he's the fucking king and why comedy is shit now. Thank you, Kevin Hart.
For real though. Honestly, Kevin Hart changed comedy, expectations of comedy, by just being too many places at once. He's kind of like Drake, just dropping shit, and you're just can't avoid him. He's just out everywhere. You're like, fuck, man.
I'm not liking what I'm seeing.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But anyways, so I saw a new Doctor Strange movie.
Oh yeah, Doctor Strange. That was with Benedict
you got a chance
Cumberbatch.
To check it out?
Yeah, I checked it out. It was highly anticipated. The trailer looked super dope, so I couldn't wait to go see it. And yeah, I felt pretty good about it. Except, there were some things I was anticipating more, I will say. When I went, I was like, all right. At the end of it, I was like, oh, I thought there was going to be more. But not in a bad way. It was interesting. It was a good movie.
All right, hold on. So, if you're listening right now, we're about to spoil the fuck out the movie at some point in this conversation. So if you don't want to get the movie spoiled for you, you can fast forward and look at the timestamps below. But let's get right into it. I thought it was another very solid Marvel movie. Nothing spectacular, but solid.
Yeah.
That's what I felt.
Solid. It'd be like DC's best try.
It would definitely be DC's best movie.
And yet, I still wanted more. So that's what's crazy. It's such a good movie. But it was basically a movie that set up another movie almost,
Yeah, it's a typical origin story for Marvel. I didn't know shit. I don't really know that much about Doctor Strange. I don't think many people do.
I didn't know much either.
So I understand why they did the origin route, but I do think the origin route is getting definitely played out for them at this point, and they need to just come up with more interesting ways to introduce characters.
Yeah, definitely.
But Benedict Cumberbatch was very good. He did, as always, he was very good in the movie. He played an arrogant, cocky asshole for a while, and then
had to mellow out.
Well, pretty much the whole time he played arrogant.
He's arrogant.
Kind of mellowed out.
You got a little bit more spiritual.
Arrogant but humbled a little bit, and more spiritual. The main villain, Mads Mikkelsen. They have a villain problem.
Mikkelsen
because
is one of the dopest actors. He's one of my favorite actors.
But not in this movie because he gets all of maybe 5 minutes.
Fucked up too. I was pissed. Honestly, low key, Mads is he's one of my favorites. And here's why. First of all, Mads, if you haven't seen Hannibal, the television series, you need to watch that shit. Because Mads is Hannibal in the television series. And there's 3 seasons, I believe. Fucking amazing. Amazing. It's almost, like, honestly, I don't want to be blasphemous, but I like the show because it was an extension of the movies a little bit. Like, it played out some of the movie plot and shit. So I almost liked it better than the movies, but it wouldn't exist without the movies, so you can't say that. But
yeah, blasphemous. Science of Land is a
but
classic.
back to Doctor Strange. Mads, dope actor. He's playing a villain. He's playing the villain of the movie, first of all. And
Well, kind of.
yeah, I guess he's not the villain. It's kind of like
not the
Silver
villain.
Surfer in the Fantastic Four. He's like the guy, the face, but then there's this bigger power.
That's setting up for the...
Yeah.
They don't use him. They use him in like 5-10 minutes of the movie, and he doesn't really say shit. He just kind of looks
Runs.
and he waves his arm around and kills a couple people, and then that's it. And like, that's a waste of a fucking talent to me. They have a villain problem.
They should have
for
played
sure.
more backstory with him at the temple.
There was no like backstory for him at all.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I think they just mentioned like that.
But
Stole the 2 pages. Spoiler. But other than that,
well,
that was
we already
it.
said spoiler,
That
so at
was
this
it.
point, it
Yeah.
is what it is. Because I tell you, I'm about to spoil the shit out of it. Because he was whatever to me in the movie.
Yeah.
Honestly, he was just like a fill in the blank villain
Right.
for me. Like a lot
He
of
didn't
movies.
have to be a big name. He could have
But,
been any actor like that.
But what's his name?
Chiwetel
Mordo.
Mordo?
Is it Mordo? Is that the black guy?
I forgot.
Is that his name?
Yeah, I just remember his
I think it is
actor
Mordo.
name is
The
Chiwetel
black guy.
Ejiofor.
I'll look it up. But he's Doctor Strange's kind of like companion, mentor a little bit. He's the guy who brings him to the Ancient One. And the one thing I knew about the comics is that he was typically his main villain in the comics, but in the movie he starts out as, you know, his friend and his partner, and, you know, in fighting against Caecilius, who's the bad guy, by the way. And then by the end of the movie, he does not agree with anything that's been going on with the Ancient One and with Doctor Strange and the powers that they're messing with. And then in the end credits, he goes full on, you know, he embraces his full on villain. And he says he wants to, there's too many wizards in the world. So that, I would say, was probably their best setup for a villain in a very long time.
Yeah,
One of their
what's
movies.
weird is
Because you kind of have a
Yeah.
backstory for him, and you kind of already,
But
feel for him.
they set
and
it up
understand,
like you like him.
and a little bit.
He's a guy that we know, and his
Yeah.
name was Mordo. Yeah, that's the character's name, Mordo. Yeah,
It was Mordo.
but yeah, they set it up to where like you had empathy for him, the guy that. But it was almost crazy because it's almost like the same way that Mads' character fell into the thing, except like he broke away. But it was almost like the origins came from the same place, you know. So it was a similar story,
similar.
but like I'm interested to see what the sequel unfolds as, you know.
Yeah, because he did a good job. He's a likable character, and it made you want to, like invest in him a little bit more than you were invested in Caecilius. Because I had no investment in Caecilius at all. He could have died in the first 2 minutes. I wouldn't have cared.
Yeah.
But Dormammu was dope. The whole sequence at the end with Dormammu was dope.
Yeah, that was the toughest part.
How he came up with the time loop, and like he basically went there and annoyed him to the point where he just agreed. But
That shit was crazy.
he said, I can do this for as long as it takes, and he apparently died. I think they said thousands of times.
So,
We saw a
10
few,
minutes,
like
yeah,
maybe 10.
iterations. It was done.
Yeah, and he died
kept
like
coming
over
back.
and over again. Yeah, and they keep coming
Like,
back.
What did he say? I want a bargain. Yeah.
Yeah, he said, Dormammu, I've come to bargain. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or I want to make a bargain or something like
He's
that.
like,
Yeah,
what the fuck? Like, what is this? Like,
I thought that was dope. I thought that was
cold-blooded,
dope.
Yeah.
That was very dope.
That was the best because I honestly didn't see that part coming. I was like, what is he gonna do? Except for the moment when they were like a place without time, like and all. I was like, oh okay, I get it.
So they kind of did the Galactus route because in the comic books, Dormammu actually has like a physical body and like he has a flaming head, but in the movie they just made him like this big giant entity. But at least he had a face, and Galactus did not. It was like a giant cloud in Fantastic Four. But other than that, I think the ancient one was okay.
Moments.
She had her moments, for sure. And the visuals were
crazy.
insane. They were definitely insane. Yeah, the magic, when they're actually visualizing the magic and like the changing and opening of portals and shit and like everything. Like the visuals were crazy. They knocked that out the park like they always do. But like you said, it felt like a setup, and it definitely was a setup because for me the movie was cool, but I was most excited about, they introduced like all these different ideas into the Marvel Universe now that they can further expand on, in the next movies and all that other jazz. So.
They basically opened up a multiverse of realities and situations. It was crazy. In a really interesting way that like can be linked and connected to you. So I was like, okay, the sorcery tip, like they haven't really been going in on sorcerers and shit like that, like magic and stuff. So I'm interested in that.
It is. So we're about to get full blown deep cuts from them now. Like, so I thought that was dope.
Yeah, man.
I got a reaction for that coming probably this week, maybe. Yeah, this week I think.
Nice.
So be on the lookout for that. I'm living life fearless. Other than that, I'll say I did a trailer roundup this week, and there's one movie in particular I want to talk about, and it's called Ghost in the Shell.
Ooh, can't wait.
Are you familiar with Ghost in the Shell?
Yeah, it was an anime, right?
Yes, it's
That's like a classic.
arguably
The classic.
Yeah, arguably one of the greatest. Yeah, one of the greatest manga / animes ever made.
Yeah.
I remember watching it when I was like 5th, 6th grade on Toonami back in the day.
Yeah, that's when I saw it. Listen to that shit was crazy.
So they just dropped the first official trailer for this one.
Live action, right?
Live action starring Scarlett Johansson, which I'm not so sure about, but we'll see.
I think they did that because they saw her in Lucy.
Which I hated.
I hated the second half. I liked it leading up to, but then it came out at the same time as Transcendence.
I can't believe Morgan Freeman was in that movie.
They should have combined Transcendence and Lucy and made a better movie.
But Ghost in the Shell actually looked like a decent adaptation. Like, I was a little skeptical what they were going to do with it, especially since it's Hollywood, because it's based on like the first anime movie that came out like 95. And I don't know if you saw that one, but that one's like very complex and like murky. Like nothing really gets explained.
Yeah.
Shit just kind of happens and then it's over. But like the art style from that one like inspired so much shit. Like it inspired the entire Matrix franchise. And it's definitely... Alright, so I'm just gonna say it. For people that don't know what Ghost in the Shell is about, it's like cyberpunk, and it's kind of like set in the near distant future where everybody has cybernetics at some point, and like there's full on cyborgs in the world, and people can plug into basically the internet and like upload their consciousness, which is what they call ghost, and ghost is like your consciousness, like, or your soul, whatever. That can be uploaded and manipulated, and shit starts happening. Like people start hacking, other people, and like all this other stuff. And it's like very much cyberpunk and Blade Runner-esque, and just the art style is just alone is crazy. And I'm excited for the trailer because if you look, there's some scenes that are basically ripped directly from that movie. So I think it could be dope, even though they could fuck it up.
Yeah.
Because there's some complicated fucking, themes being worked with there. And how Hollywood is.
Definitely. I mean, they'll get the shooting right, but like, and by shooting,
Yeah.
I don't mean like visuals. I mean like the gun scenes and shit. Like they'll get all that
For
for
sure.
sure, 100% right.
That's easy.
So
But the visuals do look good, though. The visuals do look crazy, so
Yeah.
I'll give them a chance.
you're right. You know,
Um,
hopefully the
there's
acting's good.
Trainspotting 2.
What?
Trainspotting 2. I don't know if you saw
Nah, I
Trainspotting.
did not.
It's a cult classic.
Trainspotting. That sounds familiar, but I never saw it. No.
Came out in the 90s, directed by Danny Boyle. They're like in Britain, or like, Britain somewhere, about a group of friends who like
That movie.
are drug addicts and like take heroin and shit and go on like these crazy trips and like a bunch of crazy shit happens. Like, yeah, it's a good movie. It's a good movie. So that's another one to like look out for.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Crazy. I gotta go back and check out the original, the first one, because it
You do.
looks pretty
do.
dope.
It's good. It's good. There's some crazy scenes. Yeah, it's good. And there's Danny Boyle's like how his claim to fame before, what's the movie he did with Slumdog Millionaire? So you
Yeah.
should definitely check it out.
Right.
Anything else going on you want to talk about?
Nah, I don't think there's anything else on the top of my head. Just that Chappelle monologue.
Chappelle was dope. Doctor Strange dope. Comedians are whack as fuck now. Only thing I want to talk about is you heard about the Snapchat robot that's going around?
No.
They have like these new Snapchat like sunglasses that can take video and upload it directly
Really?
to your phone. Yeah. And it's like in very limited quantities right now. And it's like this robot that like shows up to a city for like 24 hours at a time and like just like going all around the country or some shit like that.
Interesting.
Yeah. So if you see like these weird looking glasses with like a circle and like you see lights flashing around in the corners, somebody might be filming.
Shit. Oh, there is something I wanted to mention. There was another movie coming out early 2017. It's called The Dark Tower. Have you heard about that?
Yes.
Yeah, The Dark Tower.
I love Stephen King.
So Stephen King, it's actually a book series, I think, right? It's got a lot of books. Like, there's more than 7. But
Yeah, it's a full-on series. It's like one of the first books he actually started writing.
yeah, so basically the news on that is that they're shooting or have finished shooting a movie for Dark Tower. And for those of you who like to read books before movies, I would say get started now so you can get as far into the storyline as possible. I heard that they're doing some, some artistic liberties. They're changing some things, of course, because it's Hollywood, but
it's not a direct adaptation. It's kind of like a sequel.
yeah, in a weird
So
way,
it's,
like it's not going to be directly from the book, but is.
Yeah. It's definitely inspired. Well, because the book is hard. It's like hard as fuck to do now.
Well, that book is crazy. Like, yeah. So, and what's interesting
it's
is
hard to do
that one of the main
adaptation.
characters cast is Idris Elba, black character,
Yes.
and there's some.
Yeah. He's the man.
Yeah, and there's
guy.
some interesting race-related slang, I would say, like, stuff going on in the book that made me wonder how he would be for this role. But, like, based on some of the things I've heard about these changes they made, it should work. But I'm really interested in how it works.
Yeah, I really want to see the first trailer. It probably should be coming out here in like a month or
Yeah, right.
so. Because that is one of the best. That was one of my favorite books to read back in the day, and the story is crazy as fuck, and like it's it's impossible, I think, to do like in a straight up adaptation. So they kind of did the smart thing, and they took pieces they liked and then like made it into kind of a continuation of the story. So it's like a full on series, and yeah, you should definitely go check it out because Stephen King is dope.
I also heard they're gonna come out with the new It from Stephen King, so they're gonna do a It remake.
I'm skeptical.
I
about
mean, the
that
first one was already good enough. Like, don't, you know, but
Yeah.
we'll see. I don't know. I just heard they're doing another one, so.
I'm very skeptical.
You
about
know,
that one.
I know, right? How are you gonna make it better? Like, it was already.
That's like making a remake to Shining,
Yeah,
The Shining or
ooh,
something like that. Like, no, please don't.
They might have even done that, honestly. Like, but don't
Like,
ever.
please don't. Please leave that the fuck alone.
So, hopefully, it doesn't train wreck. But yeah, Stephen King coming out with some new ideas.
Man, he's got a ridiculous catalog where you can probably make movies for a long, long time. off that
Forever.
shit.
This dude is a writer of writers. He's got so many writer credits. It's crazy. It's crazy.
So there's some good ones coming out. We're gonna keep talking about those as they approach. And if you did not, hear the news, we are now taking pre-orders for our brand spanking new Fearless Beanies,
That's right.
and they are coming out for
Yeah,
sure.
the
this
Fearless
time.
Beanies, you need to get on that. It's going to be fire. I mean, I'm probably going to wear mine every week.
I'll wear mine probably for every
right?
day.
It's that time of season.
They're gonna be in limited quantities, so if you want to make sure that you get one, I would suggest going to pre-order now. And if you pre-order now, you get 35% off towards a future purchase on our store. And we got those dope Black Fearless t-shirts still, and we got some white Be Bold shirts still available. So you definitely should get on that while
For
you still
sure.
can.
So trust me, you don't want to miss out on these beanies. They're fire. And if you don't have a shirt yet, you should probably get one because they're dope too. Honestly, I haven't heard any complaints, and all I do is get more inquiries about them. So jump on that.
Yeah. So if you should definitely head over to livemyfearless.com, livemyfearless.co, wherever. Check it out. Subscribe. Definitely subscribe to our weekly mailing list where we post all of our content along with some exclusive deals that we will be doing pretty soon here, exclusive to our mailing list. And subscribe to our YouTube, of course, if you have that, because we have a lot more videos coming up. I'm posting a lot more of my video reactions that will be coming out this week and the next following weeks. And yeah, that's it.
That's it, guys.
You got anything else?
Thanks everybody for coming. Episode 7, the Fearless Show. If you liked what we said, didn't like what we said, comment, if there's more that you wanted us to cover, comedians, current events, let us know so we can check it out.
Yep. Like always, we love people who join in the conversation. Leave your comments. You have any questions, topic suggestions, whatever, you can do that over at the official post when this goes live on livingmyfearless.co, or you can go to livingmyfearless.co/podcast and fill out one of the forms with your question, comment, or topic suggestion, and we will pick the best ones and try to include those in our next couple of shows. So join in the conversation if you can. Thank you for checking out episode number 7 of The Fearless Show, and we will be back in 2 weeks' time. Peace.